Hi, everyone. Welcome to Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, Healing as a Tribe and Taking Responsibility for It. And I'm Valerie Trujillo. First thing I need to say is stay with me for the next hour as I share one of two beautiful souls that I was blessed to bring into the world. And that would be my daughter, Savannah Barba, the oldest of mine. Savannah, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored to have this platform. I'm really excited to share some of my story and my journey with people, to get to know me and to have an outlet to understand what might be going on with them and share that information.
Wonderful. First question, what type of resources would you suggest for people going through what you've gone through?
Well, I've gone through, the main part is this awakening that I activated within me by reading books, talking to other practitioners, just talking to other people that do modalities. It activated something within me that I knew was real and I resonated with. I'll start off by the books that I've read, and ones I think are cornerstones for getting information would be Dolores Cannon. She has multiple sets of books. Between Life and Death is one of them. That would be like the first read from her. Convoluted Universe, it's a set 1 through 4, and The Custodians. I'm pretty sure there's only one book of The Custodians, but Dolores Cannon and also Michael Newton, he has 2 books, Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. These are 2 practitioners that do past life hypnosis, and they accidentally started getting information from souls that were in between lives. And so they talk a lot about what happens in between lives and the healing that a soul gets and soul groups and things that souls have to deal with. And it really, especially Life After Death, the book by Dolores Cannon. Also, her daughter Julia Cannon has a book called Soul Speak. We have this one, and this tells you about your body, the signs that your body gives you to let you know when you're sick, what they mean spiritually. It has like a guide in the back and then explanation in the chapters about exactly why. But since like when you're starting to awaken, you don't know who to talk to. You don't have many people that are going through the same thing. So it's like, where do you get this information from? I went with my mom to expos. She started doing expos, so it exposed me to different type of practitioners and a metaphysical type of stuff in stores, going to metaphysical stores and looking at their books and, you know, getting crystals and then researching them to see, you know, what they help with. But let's see, I listen to a lot of Audible because I have 4 kids and it's hard for me to sit down and read a book sometimes, and I'll go to bed having Audible on. And I also think that the raw contact, it's books 1 and 2, it's trance contact with a group of extraterrestrial beings. And in Earth's history, they've been called raw. And so that was another thing. Delving into hypnosis in past life and trance contact, people channeling, was big for me. And I deal with, which I feel like is a blessing now that we're finding out what it is. And it's narcolepsy, but I have been kind of open to the dream world in so many different, because narcolepsy is a condition where there's so many things that happen with it. But what I deal with is being in paralysis before I go to sleep, and as I'm waking up, and dreaming and going to REM immediately. And I can go into stage 2 sleep and REM while I'm awake. So I start to see things while I'm awake, but my dreams are very vivid, and I've gotten to the point where it doesn't scare me anymore. As a child, it scared me. As I got older, it evolved into more healing. Want to talk about Rosa. She was a shaman that I was just looking for, like, what can I do to help myself with wanting to heal. I was wanting to heal, but no Western medicine. My oldest daughter, Evanly, has epilepsy. And so we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on with her. And everything we did, Western medicine, they're trying to explain to us what's going on. It was a bunch of things that just didn't make sense and didn't resonate. I wanted to know more. And I felt in my spirit and my soul that she wasn't possessed, and that she was dealing with so much energy. So actually, I started off going to regular school and, taking biology classes. And then at the same time, I was taking I was trying to get into spirituality more, to try to understand the spiritual side to it. And I felt like that resonated more with me. And so I was looking for ways to help her, and we found the crystal bed. And that is like when you lay on a massage table, they have the crystal bed over you, and the lights are on your chakras. And I had met a lady in Loveland, and we went to her a couple of times. And then I found Rosa, who lives in Boulder, and she didn't tell me she was a shaman until after seeing her a couple of times, because sometimes when people are not ready to be exposed to that stuff, it's like, okay, what do you do? And that's a lot of information. So her modality changed me. She opened me up to a world of so many types of healings that resonated with me. It shook me. She did a journey to find my soul pieces in what shamans call the underworld. And I was like, whoa, you went there for me? You went there to get my soul pieces? Without me giving her too much information, she knew what ages it was that I needed the soul pieces from. And so she went back into that time, grabbed the soul pieces along with like my guides, her guides. On top of that, she opened me up to the dream world too. Before we did the actual journey and to let everything come up to the surface, we did 9 weeks of dream taking and interpreting. So I would take note to my dream every single night, as many times as I woke up and dream during the day. And at the end of the week, she'd interpret it. We would talk about it. And then at the end of this, those are all the things that were ready, like an onion. We're just at the surface, ready to get rid of. And that's how my journey's been. Little segments will come up to be healed, and then I try to figure out a way to heal them. Somebody as I heal, I also get just more information on who to go to, what books to read, the synchronicities of things, what to do next. But I had started off by going to see lots of practitioners from healing with the hands, Akashic records, and past life. I've done a past life regression, and these things changed me. So I wanted to do them too. And not just for myself, of course, but for my family. For Evanly, I knew something was going on. I didn't want her to have epilepsy anymore. We just need to figure out what the root of it was, so we can help her with it. And so that's what's really helped me, is just reaching out through expos, metaphysical stores, books. And then on my website, I'm going to put a list of all these books and a link with them to like Amazon or Audible or something, so you know what it looks like, and then you can get them. I have nothing to do with that, the money end of it at all. It would all be just me and my books that I'm referring, that I've actually read, and that really, really helped. Also, Edgar Casey on Akashic records. So that was a big one for me too. That was probably the first book that I read was the Akashic ones. Soul Retrieval by Sandra Ingerman. That's a really good one too. The first time I did my own journey, I did that. Let's see. That would be all the books. And if I remember any, I'll just put them on the list.
That sounds really good. We have a couple minutes before break, so let's start with the next question, unless you have something more you'd like to say about those things.
Is there any books that you think that you read?
Well, I'm in the middle of reading the Raw one that you told me about, and I had done the one by Sandra something. It's about how our words are powerful, and how we take for granted that our words are not powerful. And let me see. Oops.
Oh my God, how can I forget? It's on top of my books right here. Robert Monroe. He has the Monroe Institute. And this book is Journey Out of the Body. So I astral travel a lot because of the narcolepsy. That's what I had been doing in paralysis. I'll stay in paralysis for a really long time. And then when I was younger, I would be attached to my room, or I don't know why I felt like I was magnetized to certain things, but I had learned to do things, some techniques that he has in his book I had been trying since I was little. And then I would get stuck somewhere else. And so it's really funny, the stuff he talks about, his story of actually going and getting EEGs every night to see if he can force himself into astral, and they couldn't get it. But this is a good.
We have to hold that thought because it's time for commercial. Everyone, you're listening to Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle. Healing is a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And we'll be right back. We're back with Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle. Healing is a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And my guest today is my daughter, Savannah Barba, who's talking to us about her journey and the things that she's doing or has done as she's gone through the awakening. Okay, Savannah, you had some other books you were talking about?
Yeah, and I have them physically with me, so I'll just show them. These are books that have opened my mind in different ways. So instead of just getting light, kind of books that you would consider, to be just not digging deep, just staying in the light, and that's what soul retrieval is about. That's what going through the dark night of the soul is, and actually doing your healing work is kind of looking at both sides, getting the information on both sides. And so something kept telling me to look into Solomon. So I got the 3 magical books of Solomon, and still reading it now, but it does give a lot of information about so many things that I misunderstood. And so it's setting me straight, and it's making me feel better about some stuff that I did not understand. So that one is a read that I feel like is important. Also, this one is by Billy Carson, and it's called The Emerald Tablets. Now, I've read multiple books on the Emerald Tablets and also listened to Audible on it. And it is hard to get sometimes. You really have to sit there, take notes, the way that they talk, because of the way it's translated in different languages. It's sometimes hard to follow, but this book is like a beginner's guide. So he kind of puts it in terms to make you understand. Plus he adds his own stuff about, he like is keep making connections as he's talking about this stuff so we can understand it. And I really appreciate that. And so the last book is Words of Wisdom by Tatiana Mukishina. And this has been like such a big thing. I had, when I started like a second awakening or third one, I was at an expo again with you, and I had been called over to a table at the expo, and it was a bunch of people that were, you know, trying to hand you little flyers and stuff, and most people were trying to avoid them. But it said something about Sirius, and it looked like it was talking, like the banner says Sirius, like the planet Sirius. So I was like, okay, that really resonates with me. So let me see what this is about. So they started talking to me about it. I read, it kind of gives you instructions on how to read the book, but also they said what was really important that they had to tell me about was on their website, there's a rosary that they do, and it doesn't have to be a rosary like a Catholic rosary. There's also different ways to do it as well. But the rosary is what I chose to do it as. But on the 23rd of each month, and it is to help karma. So, and it is projected to you back by however many people do it. So your intention you set for the day would be that you dedicate this day of work, and you try to set aside the things that are complicating and angry and sad and the things that are very worldly, and you do this for humanity. You do this for our earth, you do this for your karma or whatever karma you're working on, because you get to make that decision. You can work on karma of yourself, you can work on karma with you and another person or somebody you feel affinity to. You do the rosary for an hour, and you also just dedicate what you do during the day. If you cannot do the rosary, or if you do not feel comfortable doing the rosary, you could just dedicate your work to the dispensation of the karma for whoever you feel affinity to, or yourself, and for the world. So since I had been doing that, and this is, how long do you think it's been since we started?
It's been over a year, maybe two almost.
Yeah, it's getting, I feel like it's over a year and a half. So it also says in this book that doing this just for a year will help karma for 4 or 5 lifetimes, depending on how hard you work during these days and you dedicate yourself in the prayer practice. And no lie, it has peeled back the onion so severely and like shook. I work on karma for myself. Every month I do karma for somebody different. My mom's done it for me. She's done it for my kids. And it's, working on karma is not always pretty. So, but once you get through it, the blessing and the gifts that you get, the understanding, it's just incredible. And it was all worth going through it, but it really sets you down a roller coaster to help open that up for you. And that is just something we always do. And I will put it on the website too. Also, not just the book, but there's also a way to kind of introduce the day when you are dedicating this day. And so they have a script that you read. So I'll also put that on there.
And that's called the dispensation of the 23rd.
The dispensation. I still said it wrong.
Dispensation. It's okay. I happen to love that rosary, and thank you for saying that you're putting it on your website, because I'm going to go ahead and put it on mine too, because I let people know about it during the shows, but I've never put it on the site. So I'll do that.
Because it's just so much information, you know. I think I'm going to make a block of information, like books that shook me, like literally changed my life. These books are life changing. And I've read a lot of them, but these ones I'm just like, I've read over and over again because I get something new. You know, as I actually go through more healings, I understand the books different every time. So I just love reading.
That's good. Okay, so what practices do you have daily, weekly and monthly?
Daily, I do meditation. I actually been slacking lately because of you know, all the families getting sick and traveling and stuff. So, but normally, no matter what I'm doing, I sit at my desk and I say, you know, I bring in the meditation and the people I work with, the energy I work with, I should say, you know, oh, Steve Noble. That
Yes.
is a huge one. Steve Noble on YouTube. I listen to him like just before the show. I put him on, and he is incredible, man. This guy, I had what it was called somewhere. What I just listened to. Let me find it. Maybe. Maybe.
I like to listen to his vital force meditation when I do expos. So before I go to an expo, like this weekend I have an expo, so Friday night I'll do the vital force meditation, and it's about 25 minutes long. Then I'll do it in the morning Saturday when I get up, and I'll do it when I get home Saturday evening, because I'll be wired for sound after doing readings all day. Same thing again, Sunday morning and Sunday evening when I get home. But he has a lot of really good meditations. And I'm a very busy person, and Savannah is too. So sometimes we need someone to lead us and just let us listen, because our minds are filled. If we're not talking or listening to somebody talk, our minds get in the way. What do we have to do next? Which kid, who do you have to pick up? What do you know? What's for dinner? All that stuff, because life still gets in the way. So
the one I just listened to is the Higher Light Decree, invoking angelic support and galactic assistance. And I was blown away. I was like, I'm going to listen to it again. But that's something that, like, I would say listen to when you first wake up or right before you're going to bed, not while you're like super tired, because you want to hear everything. But it is so powerful, especially when you're starting out and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to go to, but you're like, I have this interest. YouTube is a big one too. But you just have to, you know, feel what resonates with you on there, because there is so much. But Steve Noble is incredible. Also, Gaia, it's a platform. I think you can watch it on like Amazon, get the Fire Stick. I have it on my phone as an app. That's a platform where people talk and interview people that, from anything you can think of, aliens to people that have actually been in the military, that were in programs, and what else, like astrology, channeling entities, and anything. There's another guy. He's an angel. He did the tarot, the angel tarot. He's on there a lot too, but it's just a good platform for stuff, metaphysical things that sometimes you don't even think of. And there's just like so much stuff there. They interview people with special abilities and talents, and people that talk to angels, stuff like that. So that's really interesting. But daily I'll watch stuff like that. I need to keep myself from watching regular TV. Well, like cartoons is what we have on all the time, since I have 2 toddlers. And so this type of stuff keeps me in the vibration. I don't listen to any music at all except for meditation type of music. And that's only because I choose to right now. If anything, and I really need something to put me in the mood, it'll be like old school stuff. But I just, I can't, I'm literally listening to an audible or a cartoon. So I like to watch like Gaia.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to take a break here in a second, but I want to make sure that everybody has time to capture the ideas that Savannah's presenting, and we'll take a short break. But when we come back, I want to talk to you, Savannah, about your dream work, your journaling, and working more with the narcolepsy, if you will. So everyone, you're listening to Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. We will be right back. We're back with Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And I'm Valerie Trujillo. And I have my daughter, Savannah Barba, here. And we're talking about her journey. So talk to me about your dream work and the journaling that you do, Savannah.
So after I had met with Rosa and we did their journaling, it did change my perspective. I had healed some more by just, learning more and understanding. And another expo that I went to with you, I think I was starting to talk about that before we went on break, but I had met a lady from Soul Tree. She ended up being my mentor for a while, and she was doing Akashic record healings, and she did it the exact same way I was doing it. I mean, with small differences, but I kind of knew that we had the same teaching. I sat with her and we in fact had the same teacher. So, and my teacher doesn't teach in this city or state at all, even in this country. So the fact that we had the same teacher blew me away. But she had, and I was, I sat with her and I was like, oh, well, I just want to see what you're doing, and how you do it. And it turned out like she awakened something inside of me at the expo. And I was like, you have to mentor me because this is what I'm doing. We're doing the same thing and I need to know your understanding and the way you do it. And so I sat with her, but we had, for that healing, that layer that got peeled off of me, and these are ugly sometimes. And it was a really ugly layer that I did not want to face, that I didn't really even know. It was a victim thing. It was a victim layer, so deep. And I was like, I can't be a victim anymore, knowing these things about, me being the perpetrator. And she didn't know anything about me. So it blew me away. Literally, like my body vibrated and I was shook. So I was like, I need to dive deeper with what it is that I'm going through with the narcolepsy, with the dreaming all the time, being stuck in paralysis and, dreaming while I'm awake. What does this all mean? Western medicine would call it narcolepsy, but what would spirituality be? So I'm starting to look into my dreams more by recording my dreams, listening to my dreams, then like going back to the dreams I did with Rosa. And so many things make sense now that didn't before because of this healing. So journaling your dreams is huge. Journaling the things that change you, your perspectives. You go back and read it and was like, the stuff I read when I first started tarot, and I have different journals for everything that I do because it starts to be a lot of information. And I was like, dang, I was a baby. I didn't even know, I was just like, there was a recording I listened to when we went to go get a reading from the metaphysical store, the lady that was there.
Yeah, Galen.
And I was just like, I sound so hurt. I sound like a victim. I sound like I am so 3D. I was like, wow. I kept it because listening to that and knowing what I know now, I feel like I've gone so far. And that was probably like 2 years ago. I was like,
a little over 2 years. Yeah. They were in 2018. I
was like, help me, please. And with Evan Lee going through her epilepsy, I was just so scared, was in fear, and as you heal, you pull those layers back and it all goes back to fear. It's all fear-based anyways. And so as you peel back, and you're healing, that fear filter gets thinner too. because you get to walk in your power. You have a better understanding, and you talk to other people and you help them, you know. And every time you heal somebody, you try to heal somebody else and you do healing, you get that back too. Well, anything you do, you get it back. So dream work is every day for me. Dream work every day and taking notes on what's going on. And I talk to you and I talk to my eldest daughter every day about our dreams, and we like trying to make connections and stuff. So journaling, I have multiple journals too, because keeping track of stuff separately is better for me in my head. I'm a Virgo rising. So like I have to separate that stuff. Otherwise it's jumbled for me and it's a lot. So that's okay. What I do.
Question, what makes you a clear channel, Savannah?
Well, with every healing, you get a little bit more clear, you know, so doing the work by just inquiring for yourself, finding information, but also taking care. And I didn't realize this until not even that long ago, because of the narcolepsy, because I'm thinking maybe I'm malnourished because I'm overly tired during the day. I didn't really know it was for, but taking care of your 3D body is really important because it can hold energy. But if you're waiting on a download, your energetic body is trying to get information, even a healing. If your 3D body isn't strong enough to hold that vibration, it can't meet with it, then it gets sick and weak. And then like things like epilepsy, things like restless leg syndrome, restless body syndrome, or you can't sleep. So taking care of your body so you can sleep, eating right. Try to cut out the processed foods is big. Processed foods and sugars. Work on all your gluten stuff, because none of that stuff was ever accessible to us. We haven't evolved from cavemen, our bodies and the way we eat. So now that it's always around us, we overdo it. Our livers, our kidneys can't handle it. And so they start to shut down on us and just don't work as hard. So you end up, being sick with stuff and autoimmune diseases and fatty livers and stuff like that. So fasting, I fast with bone broth. So it's really high in protein. It's and then you got to get the organic kind too. So plus on top of that, the only time I can get into ketosis, and I don't know why still, is if I literally just do the egg fast or bone broth fast. Everything I eat is organic with the fasting, because all you have to eat with the eggs is organic eggs, organic butter, and avocado oil. And that just like puts you in ketosis. But if anybody is having problems getting into ketosis, but like I fast with it, or I'll have it after a workout because I don't feel like eating, so I'll have something like bone broth. But it's vital to get rid of all the toxins so you can be a clear channel, because your body fills up with toxins from just the environment, just being outside or having your fast food once a week even, we can't avoid it. And that's part of being here. So
the synchronicities when they first started to now, give us a little.
Yeah, they were totally different in the beginning. People get excited. They see the 1-1s and the 2-2s and, but I literally follow them. So that's how I make my choices, is by the synchronicities. And when I work with my spirit guides and try to get close to them, because at first it was a weird thing, but then the first thing I did as a modality was Akashic records, and you get opened up to so many things like programming, stuck in the body programming that's from past lives. And I mean, that was changed my world. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. In my dreams, I dream about these things. Okay. That makes sense. And so I think that I lost my train of thought.
Synchronicities.
So in the beginning, there were little, and I would be like, okay, cool. That means I felt it, intuition, that meant that I was on the right track. But now it's just like, if I ask something to my spirit guide team or to my higher self, literally get the answer in like something's being said in the background on the radio, the TV. Somebody else will bring it up, and or I'll be researching. I like to research. I like to say, okay, this is how I get my information, my big information. I'm going to research, and you just guide my research for me. And I said that in the beginning, so I didn't get like overly scared when I started channeling, because I would channel and then wake up and be like, no, what's going on? Like my conscious mind starts to wake up and be like, what's going on? Where am I in all this? So like I have to like really hone myself in, and it's better now that with every healing, I feel like I've grounded better. I've done more to ground.
And I found that as we peel layer by layer, because don't fool yourself, people, you're not going to get rid of your issues overnight just because we know this stuff.
And you're saying it like this because you were one to think that it would happen for you overnight. Exactly.
I thought, like I said at the beginning of the show, I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to heal it. I'm going to go get the dark night of the soul. I'm going to go through my shamanic practitioner class, and I'm going to peel the whole thing away and I'll be done with it. No, you peel one layer at a time, whether you like it or not. And people, don't fool yourselves in trying to tell us that, well, why don't you heal right away? Because you know all this stuff. No, if you know all this stuff, you know that you don't heal everything right away. That is something.
You die if you got all that energy at once,
Exactly.
You wouldn't be able to handle it, your physical body.
And people that are 3D don't understand this. They think that just because you know what the solution is, it's going to happen overnight. But if people are trying to heal, it's hard, because you have to face who you are and you have to be honest about it. And sometimes it's not easy. You have to work hard at it.
Shoot, most of the time. Like, it's not easy. It's been so ugly. But the ending of it is so humbling and beautiful. It's like crying after a breakup and crying and thinking you're going to die and letting the rain hit you, and then all of a sudden looking up and thanking the storm for letting you feel the pain, because otherwise you wouldn't feel the gratitude for actually being alive, And I could say that, I've been through a lot of traumas with, hurting myself. And so looking back, I'm just so grateful to be alive still and to be doing this and talking about it.
Great. Well, we're taking another break, and when we come back, we're going to have Savannah give her contact information, and we'll continue on with the interview. Thank you so much. We're back with Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, healing as a tribe and taking responsibility for it. And I have my daughter, Savannah, on. So we're talking about her journey and what she's going through. So Savannah, tell me, what inspires you now?
Everybody that I meet doing this inspires me. Everything that I learn from everybody and the new modalities that I'm introduced to just blow my mind. And I just cannot stop learning and intertwining with people and seeing their perspective on life. And I'm also inspired by my daughter, my oldest daughter. I'm inspired by all my children, really. Their incarnations, thinking about that, all these soul groups and our soul group and who they played. And I'm sure my 4-year-old's been my mother. So I'm inspired by all of them. My oldest daughter, though, with epilepsy, that's 17, has helped me propel all of this, because she's the reason why I started to ask why. And I wasn't satisfied because it didn't resonate. And my love for her and wanting to help her gave me a nonstop, you don't stop until something makes sense, until she's okay. And now she is interested in what we do. She takes guidance from us. She asks to do the Akashic records stuff. She wants the books on it. We talk every day about dreams interpretation, and so she's empathic. So we've
Not just that,
taught
but
her how to deal with it.
I've given all of my grandchildren, save the youngest, with healings, and my daughter and I are now certified Reiki, fire Reiki healers, as well as all the other things that we do. So that was a treat itself.
Yeah, so I'm just throwing healings at everybody. I'll pow, pow, pow. Now I can. But that's exciting. And we're going to go through that modality now, and then go through the holy fire and also the top level one, and just get more information. I love it. I love getting all that information, new ways to do healings, especially with your hands, because that was something for me. Like, you went through the angelic stuff with healing, which was more hands-on, but you've always been more hands-on since I was little. Mm-hmm. Since I could remember, you were always healing over people with hands and eggs and, you know, shaking your stuff. So like that to me, and something that you really inspired me. And the fact that you can be my shamanic practitioner means it changed everything in our lineage, that you're going to teach me the rites, that you're going to do all of this creative stuff with me, and we're going to make tools together. That's like, this is incredibly life-changing for me that I get to do it with you, Mom. And I'm very grateful and honored to be part of this with you.
Thank you. I am glad, because my healing facilitated yours and your brother Sergio's, and that healing also facilitated 3 lineage lines in our heritage back, and all of my other grandkids. So that makes me really happy and proud.
Yeah.
So what do you aspire to do now that you have all these new gifts and all this new perspective on life?
Well, I have to share it. I have to freaking scream it from the rooftops, only because the karma stuff is huge. And that's what got me into doing everything. The Akashic records, I do quantum hypnosis by Dolores Cannon, her technique, because karma, wow, everybody's stuck in the mud, you know, I was stuck in the mud. And it's like, if I can tell and scream it out the rooftops, you know, we can get rid of this. And it doesn't have to hurt anymore. It doesn't have to be confusing anymore. We don't have to be victims anymore. We don't have to be angry anymore, you know. And it's baby steps, but still, like, here's somewhere to start. And this is where I started. I am wanting to write a book about, it's going to be something like the tale of a shaman, a narcoleptic shaman or something, a narcoleptic shaman, something like that, you know, like the journey of what I've gone through and what Western society wanted to put a label on, and what, now that I'm, you know, spiritual and taking it this way, I've changed it into a powerful gift, you know, that I've earned, that I had to work for, but this is how it came. Because the spiritual work is like every day. It's everything that I do. So I have to write a book about my life and how all this stuff, you know, this is just like the short version of it, but I'm going to have a memoir about my life, and, you know, it's going to be very exposing, but I'm ready for all of that because it's a lot. So this will help my friends even know me better, you know, and my family, because I've been so closed off with it, because I had been in fear and I thought I was crazy for the longest time. So, you know, that I want to do that. And then also I was working on an oracle deck for myself, because when I do tarot or oracle, I wish there was more cards, or I wish there was a card that said this, you know. And so I get to the point where I'm just like, why do I even use cards? But sometimes I really like to use cards because I like to look at the imagery, and I do get a lot of information from the imagery. So I'm working on my own oracle, and if I feel guided to, we talked about maybe you doing the imagery and we making the deck for the public too. I feel like people would, now that I'm opening up more, that they would be inclined to something like that, you know, because it's very, you know, out there. But also opening a spiritual retreat, healing school center with my mom. You know, that's another thing I aspire to do, is teach these modalities to other people and have a healing center with you.
Yeah, because I think people need a place to go when they don't have guidance, like me not having guidance up until these last few years, and you all your life, what you went through. I don't want anybody to have to go through what we've gone through, and your brother too. I want them to be able to know they're safe and they can take control, and it's okay to be in your personal power, and you don't have to be hurtful to do it.
Or damaged, and know how to deal with the anger, the sadness, the wanting to leave. Because a lot of the time, you know, people can't and deal with this place because it's so muddy here. It is very hard to walk through. You know, our light bodies, as we get higher and work in those areas and other dimensions, are not as hard as it is here. And this school in Earth is so dense that I feel like it's our duty, now that we have gotten more information, to share it, you know?
So give everybody your contact information now.
Oh, yes. Well, I go by on everything, which would be the name of my practice is North Node in Taurus. So I have a website, which is northnodeintaurus.net. You can also email me at northnodeintaurus@gmail.com. I have an Instagram and a YouTube, and they are both North Node in Taurus. But if you go to the website, there's links to get to all of those in case it's hard for you to look up Instagram stuff. But my name is also Savannah Barba, so you can look me up on social media under that too.
Awesome. I want to thank you, Savannah, for being such a great guest and giving such awesome information to people. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, Healing as a Tribe and taking responsibility for it, as this is my last show. I had a wonderful 6 months of sharing and giving information for anybody who wants to take responsibility for their own healing. I will be taking a break from social media until the end of June, when I will start doing readings for the signs on YouTube and putting my information out for personal readings at that time. And I will be doing 1-hour shows once a month to share information and guidance for people. I'll also be taking this break to create my own line of shamanic tools. So stay tuned, as I will start putting them on my website. I want to thank you, Dr. Pat, and the transformation team, for all your hard work, all your dedication into the work that you do. It shows, and you need a pat on the back too for the things that you do every day, and you take for granted that it's not that big. It's huge. Thank you so much. This is Valerie Trujillo, Love and Light with Crystal Blue Oracle, Healing as a Tribe, and taking responsibility for it. Signing out.
Thank you for listening to Love and Light with the Crystal Blue Oracle, Healing as a Tribe and taking responsibility for it. Tune in next time for more powerful conversations, spiritually crafted to jumpstart your healing journey so you can own your spiritual gifts. And in turn, shed that light on the people around you so they can do the same. Embrace the confusion, the fear, the strength. Let go of your limiting beliefs. Your healing is in your hands, and it's time to take action. Find your tribe, heal together, in love and light. For more information about Valerie and her services, visit crystalblueoracle.com.